So the question is, should you put in a tankless water heater or a traditional water heater? Well, on the East Coast, in this man's opinion, I'm a water heater guy, but we're going to talk about all that coming up, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome folks. Bob here from Bob'sPlumbingVideos.com. On this channel, I provide free plumbing tutorials for people who don't want to call a plumber. No scientific data, no fancy chemical breakdown of the materials I use in these videos, just common sense solutions to everyday plumbing problems. After all, folks, you shouldn't have to take out a mortgage to be able to afford a plumber. If you're new to the channel, I highly recommend you subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'll be notified of when I post a new video. Now, let's get into this video. Oops, I almost forgot. Get lost. All right, let's see if we can do this again. You know how many times I've recorded this? Insane. Anyway, water heater on the left, tankless on the right. Traditional water heaters in Brooklyn, New York are located in basements. We have basements here. We don't have easy access to vent tanklesses out the outside wall or go up through the roof. That's not to say we can't do it. We can do it, but with a lot of extra added expense. Anyway, water heaters, retrofit. Pretty easy here. Take one out, put one in. With the exception of some minor height differences, we can slap these things in, and including paperwork, we can be in and out in about 3 hours, depending upon job circumstances. Pretty much, 40 gallons, 50 gallons, 75 gallons, whatever the case may be. We put them in, and generally after I put them in, I don't hear from the people anymore, get no complaints. Everybody's happy. They have hot water. And although I do recommend replacing the anode rod every 2 years to extend the life of the water heater, that's pretty much all the maintenance that needs to be done. So with that in mind, let's take a look. We have the tankless on the right again, and we have your traditional water heater on the left. We're going to go over the pros and cons of both. So with the traditional water heater, whether it be gas, whether it be propane, whether it be electric, easy retrofit installation. Generally, no venting upgrades, no gas pipe upgrades. That's if the original installation was done correctly, and most of them are, at least in my area. Less frequent maintenance. Like I said, I recommend every 24 months replace the anode rod and a little annual flushing, which the homeowner can do themselves. If on a gas or propane heater you experience a power outage, you still have hot water. So if you're in one of those areas of the country where you have a gas or propane heater and it's cold outside, and you momentarily, let's say, lose your heat for 24 hours or so, you're still going to have hot water. Now, obviously, that's not correct if you have an electric water heater, but that goes without saying. So overall, less of an expense to do a retrofit on a standard water heater. What are the cons? Water heater, you can run out of hot water depending upon the demand. If you have a lot of people taking showers in succession, you got a lot of stuff going on, washing clothes, dishes, etc. You could run out of hot water, and you are probably going to have to wait for that tank to make up before you can start using hot water again. Lifespans are generally 6 or 10 years, depending upon which model you buy from the manufacturer. Again, by replacing the anode rods every 24 months, that's my recommendation. You could probably double those time frames. So you could get 6 to 12s, and you could probably get 10 to close to 20s. You got higher operating cost. Obviously, the thing is turning on and off several times during the day to keep that 40, 50, or 75 gallons of water heated. That goes without saying. So there's a little extra operating cost. And you got the potential for water damage, obviously, if the water heater leaks and nobody's home. You could have water. Now, you can circumvent that by putting automatic shutoff valves on the incoming water supply on both, either a traditional gas water heater or your tankless, but that can be circumvented. So anyway, that's pretty much it for your traditional, and what I like to call reliable hot water heater. Now, let's go into the future and talk about tankless. What are the pros? Well, the pros are endless hot water. You can turn the faucet on 24 hours a day. Water's going to be hot, no question about it. takes up less real estate. You're going to gain a lot more room. You have lower operating costs because you're only heating the water as you use it. You're not heating up a set amount of gallons just standing there doing nothing. So as you turn the faucet on, the gas comes on, heats the water. When you turn the faucet off, the gas shuts off. In southern states, you can put them outside the house. So I've seen them in the backyard. I have a daughter that lives in California, and I've seen these things mounted on the back of homes, on the back of restaurants. So that's, you don't have to have it in your home if you're in a southern state. Longer lifespan, longer warranties. The companies will warranty them longer, but there's a little asterisk there if you do the required maintenance. And I can tell you that if you're in a hard water state, you're going to have to do mandatory annual flushings to de-lime and descale these things. Now, you could do it yourself. A lot of people don't want to touch these. They like to hire a professional to come in and do it. If you hire a professional here in New York to come and do this, probably going to set you back anywhere from $300 to $400 by the time they buy the de-liming chemical and do the de-liming and flushing, which is going to take at least an hour. So, put that into the 20-year lifespan. But let's now look at the cons. So the cons are you're going to have gas and venting upgrades. There's no question about it for retrofits because we have basements here. These things, if you're going to put them in the basement, you're going to have to run new chimney, new exhaust, and possibly new air intake to these units. You cannot vent these into a traditional chimney. These are condensing units. They condense, they make water. That's where the efficiency comes from. So, and we here in New York City are not allowed to use PVC pipe. So the venting material has to be stainless steel or polypropylene. So if you have a spot on the first floor, let's say in a closet that's on an outside wall, and they can be vented directly outside, and it's within the proper distances from a window or door, we can do that. Again, it's extra expense. The gas lines, in most cases, are too small. Although some companies are, advertising that you can use a 1/2-inch gas line up to 25 feet. This is true. But if you're in excess of 25 feet or you have a really big tankless with a really big demand, you're going to have to upgrade the gas line. So that goes without saying. That's an extra expense on top of the cost of the unit, which is usually double that of a water heater. So that goes without saying. More frequent maintenance, I mentioned that already. You're going to have to flush these if you're in a hard water area. And just across the board, higher installation costs. And also keep in mind, if you lose power with a tankless heater, you lose hot water. You're out of luck. No hot water. More importantly is the pressure loss in times of high demand. What do I mean by that? Now, these tankless water heaters are based on a certain GPM moving through the unit. Some of the units I've seen, some of the manufacturers boast 7 gallons a minute, 5 gallons a minute, 4 gallons a minute at a continuous flow, whatever the case may be. But the more people that get into a shower to use it, you're going to notice a loss in pressure. So the flow is going to cut down. Now, the hot water will be forever. You could, like I said, you can turn the faucet on and this thing will just go forever. But you will experience a loss in pressure. So if you're the type of person who likes a nice invigorating shower, that's not going to happen with a tankless water heater if you have multiple people taking showers. Another thing to take into consideration is this. In the southern states, where you have incoming water temperatures of approximately 70 degrees, we only have to get that water from 70 up to 120, which is where I usually set my water heaters, is 120. And when you're sizing these things, they'll size them on the number of showers they're capable of doing at one time. And they will base that on a 70-degree incoming temperature, getting it up to 120. But in the East Coast, in my neck of the woods, in the winter, we have 40-degree incoming water temperatures. So now we got to go from 40 to 120. So a unit that may give you 2 showers simultaneously at a 70-degree incoming water temperature is not going to give you 2 showers at a 40-degree incoming water temperature. You may get 1. So to circumvent that, you have to up the size. You may have to go to the next size unit, which is going to end up being probably overkill when the summertime comes. Because, summertime comes, the incoming water temperatures go up, and now you have this oversized unit that you're using, but that's the way it works. And you have to take that into consideration. A lot of people on the East Coast don't take that into consideration, the cold incoming water temperatures and the temperature, makeup that you have to experience going from 40 to 120. Big difference going from 40 to 120 as opposed to 70 to 120. So these are all things to take into account. And across the board, my opinion are that the higher upfront costs could take 10 to 20 years to offset any fuel savings. And in my opinion, it's not worth it, but that's me. If you're in a southern state, it's a different story. If you're putting these units in new from the get-go, different story, but I'm talking about a retrofit here in New York City. It's going to be a tremendous expense to get it done, and I personally don't think it's going to be worth it, or it's going to take too much time to get your money back. So for my money, I like a traditional, reliable water heater. I don't want to think about, can I get in the shower now? Or are there too many people using it? Are you going to be washing dishes? Are you going to be washing clothes? Should I get in now? Should I wait till that's all over before I take my shower? Got a hot water heater standing 50 gallons. You get in there, nice pressure. It's beautiful. I'm a baby boomer. I want what I want now. I don't want to be thinking about using hot water. I got other things to worry about. Anyway, that's my take on water heaters versus tankless water heaters. I hope you got some useful information out of this. I opened up your eyes as to the pros and cons on both. Again, like I said, and I'll repeat myself, I'm a water heater guy, but hey, maybe that's just me. Maybe because I'm an old timer. Anyway, if you have any questions on the subject, please feel free to ask. And I want to thank you guys for even watching my videos. Take care. So there you go, folks. That's my take on traditional water heaters versus tankless. There's a lot of upfront expense to consider, and there's a long payback time. Now, I recently installed a 50-gallon water heater, 10-year guarantee. If you shop that price in the New York area, you're going to get anywhere from a $1,400 to a $2,000 quote, depending upon the company you call. In my case, this was an $1,800 retrofit, but I can tell you, if they opted for tankless, it was probably going to run them anywhere from $4,500 to $5,000. In my opinion, that's just not worth it. Folks, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you give it a thumbs up, YouTube shows it to more people, and that's my goal ultimately. Keep an eye out for one of these 2 videos that are going to pop up here to your right, my left. One of them I chose, one of them YouTube shows. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I put up a new video. Stay well. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad you watched my videos. Much appreciated. I'll see you in the next one. Happy plumbing.